Border Barrels, back for another round of AFL and SuperCoach bloody updates. And I'll tell you what, after, well, look, we were so unhappy about how we went last week. We didn't even do a pod. No, I do have to apologise. We had a bit going on and we weren't able to do it. But we've come back at a good week because we've all done really well. So, yeah, I'm still fluking it somehow. No one's really sure how I'm doing it. But I had a really good round. And I think the boys did as well. How'd we go, boys? Gratz? Oh, sorry, I must mention again. Gratz is
not here.
Well, he's alive, but unfortunately he's phoning in. So how'd you go this week, Gratz?
Oh, I had an extra line pop up on my test during the week after I just decided I'd do one because my wife apparently had the COVID after a small cough. But here we are, sitting in the car once again, just like last year, but this is the highlight of my week, so thank you guys for joining me. And the other highlight of my week was going from having about 4 or 5 rookie placeholders on my field this week for various injuries, and in the end pulling out a massive 2,568 in SuperCoach.
Oh, my goodness.
So thank you to the 2 traded-in premiums that I brought in, which was Paddy Cripps, brought him back in after trading him out for a week. Silly, don't do that. And Luke Parker with a big score as well. But my pod, Josh Kelly, that was very nice. Another big 140-odd from him as well. So you've got these players that not everyone has and they score well. You're ready to post a big one.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. And that's it's a point where they say, oh, look, but, 50% of teams have got him, so it doesn't really matter. But, like, all of a sudden you ask around and you've got very similar teams, so it is good to have points of difference. And our mate Coops the other week, he did very well. I think he got bloody... He won it or something, did he? Or did he win?
Super duper.
Yeah, he came first for the week.
But I looked at his team. I'm like, no one has any of those players. So, yeah, you've got a point there. It is always good to go a little bit different to your mates.
Well, it's good, but also bad because if they score shit, then you're fucked.
Yeah, I guess so.
Whereas, for example, like Nick Dacos scores 75, and you're not mad because pretty much everyone would have Nick Dacos.
Yeah, that's true.
Zach, you beat both Simon and I, and Simon beat me this week by 4 points.
I was going to say not by much.
But
first time all year?
I think so.
Oh, surely.
But I wanted to give a shout out to someone in our league that may go, from what I'm looking at in all my leagues, could go close to winning the whole thing this week. And that's Petey. I don't know if you saw what he scored, Gratzy, but Petey ended up, for, if you haven't seen it, on 2,626.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Now,
that's awesome.
I don't want to toot my own horn too much. No, I'm not tooting my own horn. I actually had a part to play in his score. Petey was busy umpiring today. Cricket. There's still cricket going on. Can you believe?
I actually can't believe that.
No, I can't believe it because it's so boring. I thought it would be done by now just as a sport.
So he was actually umpiring at the same time the Bulldogs Essendon game was due to start. And he wanted to have Max Gawn, use the VC loophole on Max Gawn. But he wasn't going to know at the right time if Dylan Stephens, who was his loop, was going to be either sub to Sydney or if he was playing VFL.
Yeah.
Petey gave me his SuperCoach login details, and I was under the instruction if Dylan Stephens is playing VFL, I've got to make sure that I've got Gawn's loop ready to go, and if Stephens is going to be playing as a sub, that I had to put Jackson McRae as the captain. So luckily for Petey, Dylan Stephens did indeed play in the VFL, and I got on there and figure that out for him, and he's ended up posting the biggest score in our main league that we're all in.
Nah, that's awesome.
Yeah. From what I'm seeing, he has cleared everyone in all the leagues I'm in, so could be an interesting week for him.
There's a couple of 2700s he actually sent through to me before.
Jesus.
Like 2 people facing each other. They both got. I don't know if that was a Facebook post or if that was another league he might be in. But yeah. Big one's going around.
I reckon, I think this is the highest score I've had, 2,490.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, that's good.
So obviously me take 4 points off, it's 2486. I can't believe I got there considering I was messaging you, both of you on Friday, like, I think I might have a donut here. And luckily I got away with it, and I had what I end up having, one player on the bench score for me. A lot of DNPs around.
They're my favourite.
I got very lucky too, because I forgot Josh Ward didn't get named, so he was on my field, and I emergency'd Rochelle just out of habit, and got very lucky there. That could have, it would have only lost me 46 points. He's straight out. I can already tell you my trades. It'll be Rochelle, it'll be bloody Jason Horn-Francis, and it'll be Huge Dixon.
Yep.
Gone.
Well, do we want to run through just like a few really cool scores, maybe in relation to our teams and a few people that we've got our eye on, and then look at our trades at the end?
Yeah. So, by round, or are we just going to have a look at our individual teams?
Well, we usually go game by game, but
yeah.
we do that all the time. Like, do we just go through and see, we can look at the game and just quickly go through who we had, and if there's anyone that you think you need to have, or
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
Goodness me. Sorry, I'm just watching the bounce, and for some reason they're going back through. I've got Anthony Rocker.
Wasn't that Sav?
No, I don't think so.
I thought that was Sav.
No, it was one of the Rockers. And they were kicking a barrel, and
That's
bloody
the
hell I
lanky-
miss it. Oh, for goodness sake.
Anthony.
Yeah, Anthony Rocker's the lanky one. I reckon it was Anthony Rocker because
Anthony's a lanky.
I'm more qualified to speak about that era because I was living it.
Because you're old.
That's it. All right, well, first game Friday night. Richmond Tigers 165 to West Coast Eagles 56.
Jaden Short, the midfielder, is what we need to know about this.
Yeah, fuck, he was good. Rory Laird
Playing
2.0.
midfield, no one went near him. Yeah.
I mean, no one went near him because there's no one on the other team.
Yeah.
Just before we get into the SuperCoach, I had a funny thing that I was listening to the Triple M radio just as I was driving around town today, and they were saying, does Andrew Gaff have any trade value? And everyone at the same time went, no.
No, now...
You go. What do you got?
Yeah, did you watch him run? Sorry, did you watch him try to move around the football field?
Nah.
Someone I saw online post they said, why is someone's nana dressed as Andrew Gatt trying to shuffle around Optus Stadium? Sorry, he was the stub, which is weird enough anyway.
Yeah.
But then he ran out there, his shorts look real baggy, he's got a bum bag on and it's very heavy at the back, and he's weighted to the ground. And he's trying to sprint, and his little legs are going, and he's barely making any ground. I'm like, this bloke 2 years ago was the premier winger in the game. Either Father Time has caught up with him very quickly. He looked about 48 years old.
It's funny though, because he was always a premier runner, but was he that good? And that's what they're kind of saying is just he's at that point now where a young team doesn't want him as a veteran because he's not good enough to lift them, and an older team doesn't want him because why?
He looked like the club president at any footy club has had to pull the boots on because the Rezzies are short of players. That's what he looked like. That's how convincing his running was.
Well, it
was embarrassing.
Yeah, and
Eddie Betts shorts.
Yeah, and it's funny because I don't normally really buy into what Kaden Coleman says, but as you know, during the week he called out some particular player for being fat or whatever.
Elliot Yeo.
Yeah, Elliot Yeo, but I think Elliot Yeo might be the least. Whoa, might be the least of their problems. But he's I was watching something today, and he goes, yeah, but. You can get all fired up, but the question is your team prepared to play AFL football at the moment? And the answer is probably no, and I think it probably stretches a little bit further. But poor buggers, they're just doing their best. They're getting ripped by COVID, and look, if you've got to write off a year, I don't think it really matters in the scheme of things. But yeah, they're not going to finish in the top 8.
No.
So I don't think it, and they've had their challenges. It doesn't look like they're tanking on purpose, but they're certainly tanking.
They're the Golden State Warriors of the AFL, where Golden State were incredible. Steph Curry and Klay Thompson both get injured and they suck, so they get a number 1 pick, and then they just come back and it's oh fuck, they're good, and now they've got a number 1 pick, which looks like it's going to happen with West Coast as well.
Yeah,
and. They mentioned on the radio they don't, if they do go bad, they don't stay there long.
Yeah, and listen, we don't want these one-sided, like, 165 to 56, like that can't be every week.
No.
But, I think you wouldn't be too worried if you're West Coast right now, but you would write it off, and you do have a choice to make. You can either, you can either go on holidays early, or you can use this time to get quite fit and sort of be ready for next season before everyone else is. But yeah, they're not doing too well.
Finally had some high draft picks.
But they've got positives. Like Josh Kennedy towards the end of his career kicked 4, and he bloody getting around, putting forward pressure on, and showing some of the young key forwards how it's done.
That's right.
Namely Jamara Ugelhagen, who got dropped from Western Bulldogs.
Yeah. Now that was my fault. I've already digressed. So do we have? No one has anyone from West Coast, do they?
No, but we do need to know about Greg Clark.
Yep. So
that's very important.
Yeah, Greg Clark, if you want to go a week early on him. So he won't be on the bubble till after round 8, but he scored 104 on debut.
I reckon I had him. If you rewind back, I reckon I had him in my team before the season started.
Everyone would have, and then he did his shoulder in preseason.
That's why we didn't keep him. All right,
yes.
No, okay, there you go.
The other one, Luke Stranatica, they were calling him on the call, I think, which is weird. He scored 76.
Stranatica, I think it's my favourite.
Yes, Stranatica. But he, I think, scored a 50-odd in game 1, and he's come out and scored 76. So he's an option as well. He'll be on the bubble heading into round 8. The other one, as we mentioned, I think last week, Witherden 97. It's his first non-100 for since his first game, which was round 2. So he's still an option because the ball's down there a lot. And there were 15 behinds by Richmond. There could have been more because they don't normally kick that straight. So, yeah, on the West Coast side, that's about it. Not much to speak of over there. But Richmond side, another one that played his first game this year, Morris Rioli Jr. That's a name you might know, Simon. You're pretty old. You know Morris Rioli.
Yes.
This is Morris Rioli Jr.
Tell you what.
He kicked 3, so he scored 92 in his first game as well. So he's a risky one to go early on. I think Greg Clark's the pick from this game, but he's definitely a watch come the end of round 8. Would you agree with that, Zach?
Yeah, I think so. Because he was really good in the second half. At halftime, I was thinking, he hasn't done much yet. But then, confidence picked up and he was good. The one, I'll pat myself on the back for this, but please also pat yourself on the back if you held on to Josh Gibson. Because the last 2 weeks he's posted a ton and then a very timely 79 when we needed him down back. So,
we're both shaking our heads. Both shaking our heads as Simon traded him out and I never had him. So
you never had him?
No. The other one that I was tempted to get in, I actually recommended Simon might want to get him in, was Nick Vlostone, who got 110. So that's 300s in a row for him.
Yeah, well, if Jaden Short's going to play midfield, Boston's going to get those points down back.
Yeah, exactly. So that's pretty much it. There's a few outliers getting around, like Tom Lynch scoring 167 off kicking 7-5.
Jeez.
So, yeah, what we can gather from this game was that West Coast Eagles 8-8-56 beat Tom Lynch by, 9 points. 9 points.
That's pretty crazy. Another thing to note, you know how like people's surnames mean like whatever they did as a occupation? Rioli must mean bloody future very good football player because there's heaps of them and they're all playing good footy. So, yeah, good on the
Well, I was going to
Riolis.
say, what do you reckon Stranatica's job was back in the 1600s when they named people based on their occupation?
I reckon Stranatica is like one of those, one of those singers. It's like there's like baritone, there's Stranatica.
I was going to say it sounded nautical.
Oh, yeah, it could be, yeah. It could be, or it could also be. I've got a case of this Stranatica. I don't know that I'll
Well, it
make
sounds like
it through the
a
night.
made-up word from a musical.
Yeah, well, yes.
Fragilistic Stranatica Alidocious.
Yes, just to fit the rhythm. Who knows? We should ask. Get him on. We should get him on. We'll ask him.
We need to get to that point where we can get players on.
Yeah, it won't be long.
We can't even get voice messages.
We can't even get Gratzy here.
We can't even get the podcast
Anyway,
people to be here.
Saturday night, Fremantle Dockers 69, Geelong Cats 66.
You're really showing your age considering this game started at 1:45 in the afternoon. And you said it started Saturday night. It's almost bloody bedtime.
Well, yeah. I had a nap. I had a 2-hour nap today at about 3, so it almost was bedtime. But yeah, that just clicked. Very good. So yeah, Saturday afternoon. Anyway, who did we have?
Sorry. Who did we have? I can't even remember.
Tom De Koning.
Sam De Koning.
Sam De Koning.
Tom De Koning. He's the different one. Other one. Yeah,
Can I put this out there that I asked online, I was like, I don't know. I was like, because it's Tom and Sam. I was like, surely their parents could have given them like the names like Rudiger and like Dimitri or something, so we would have known. And then someone said they're 2 of 11 children. I'm like, okay,
Whoa.
fair enough. They ran out of names. Yeah. No, apparently that's true. I don't know. Someone just told me that online.
How come? What happened to the other 9? How come they're not footballers?
I don't know. Like it post being in the womb, those 2 just like absorb them and they're using their powers to play AFL.
Yeah, well,
I don't know.
I suppose there's a few choices there. They're either all like not that good, like all 11 of them, or you've got like, say they're training, you just have like, say they're running, they're doing the fitness training, and the guys sort of run along and give them the water, and then they fall off because they've run out of puff, and then the other one runs along, and
the parents chose Tom and Sam and went, righto, all of you have to support these 2 getting into the AFL.
Yeah, and all of you need to learn how to use this particular drink bottle, which is like the chin rest water bottle that they squirt in. So they've got plenty of water, plenty of hydration. Like we're backing these 2, and you other guys just, you'll get your $50 in a card at Christmas time, but like don't expect too much else.
Well, anyway, he scored 77.
Oh yeah, so yes. By the way, he did score. He did play
well.
a game, and he scored 77.
Which is good. Like if you got him as bench coverage, just for the Hewitt being out, for example, that was pretty handy. We'll take that.
Yes. On the Freo side, I had Will Brodie and Nathan O'Driscoll,
Me
who
too.
were both underwhelming.
Brody got to 75 in the end, I said, but he was only on a 40-something during the last quarter, so he came home pretty hard.
Yeah, and like some of his points were like there was one stage where I think he got about 4 handballs in a row and a kick inside 50, and they were like 2 points. 2 points for you. For that, you can have 2.
Yeah.
So the scoring in this one was weird because it was like Will Brodie, 3 handballs and a kick, 2 points. Tom Stewart, hey, you look pretty cool. Do you want 30 points?
Yeah. Well, he's got
I
that
started
headband.
getting salty about Tom Stewart. By the way, why did Geelong have 3 blokes that look the same?
Yeah, there was a lot of
Stewart.
Who was the first one?
Dempsey.
Dempsey, yeah. Dempsey and De Koning are the same person. Prove me wrong. And then from a distance, Stewart gets added in there and almost blitzarves. But
Tits ass.
Tom Stewart started on a wing, which was very odd. And then it was the same as Jaden Short, where it's like, oh, no, he's so good. He can play anywhere. He had 40 disposals.
I think this is going to be one of those salty things that I say because he's not in my team, or when he's in my team, I'll love it. But I think Tom Stewart had COVID but didn't tell anyone. And he does every week, and he wants to try and keep distance.
So they put him on the wing.
He's never played on a man in his life, which is why he gets 40 touches.
Yeah,
Make all the other poor sods in the back line do all the heavy lifting, and he just gets the crumbs.
Well, I mean, he also took
SuperCoach
14 marks. It's not like he's getting crumbs. He's taken marks. It's not like it's the +1 role, which is a role in pretty much every team.
As I said, I'm just salty because I don't have it.
He's very good.
Did you have anyone else from Freo in your team, Gratz?
Only O'Driscoll.
Yep.
And then De Koning. I saw a few people go early on Dempsey because he played well in his first game.
Ooh.
And he did that. He 3 touches and scored 12.
Yeah, well, there you go. Well, I think the most significant thing about that game, Supercoach or otherwise, was the fact that Fremantle won against they've won a fair few games this season. They won against Geelong, who are pretty bloody credible.
In Geelong.
Yeah, in Geelong, yeah. So that was a huge
Blake
win for
Acres
him.
is good at football.
Yeah,
That's surprising.
Blake
Yeah.
Acres was very good on a wing there. He's carved out a nice little role there. Someone that's carved out a role there, Rory Lobb, when he can stay on the park and not be injured, is very good.
He does this. He has 3 or 4 good games, and then 6 weeks later, it's like, what happened to Lobb?
Yeah, but
Like,
it's not,
he's got a calf.
yeah, but it's injuries. Like if he can get a sustained run at it, he's not bad. Lloyd Meek played pretty well as well, replacing Sean Darcy, Shrek.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, very good.
Jordan Clark got booed by about 4 people in the crowd, and it was like, "Hey, you guys wouldn't play him. It's your club's fault that he left. He didn't ask. He asked to leave because you guys fucked him over, and he came back and had 24 touches and bloody killed yous."
And you're 100% correct. And just to finish this off before we move to the next game, I love Supercoach Vitriol, and on the live game chat on a fan footy for this one, pretty much sums up how some people look at Supercoach. But Brody, major fail, Potter.
Yeah, right.
75.
Goodness. No.
Yeah, what a dickhead.
Very aggressive.
Another quick thing to take from this before we end. Andrew Brayshaw scored 77, so that'll mean a little bit of a price decrease, and he is very good, as we've seen this year, so he could be a tasty little upgrade.
Cool. All right, we're going to the next game. I don't know when it happened. I'm just going to tell you.
210.
210. All right. We've got GWS Giants 113. Adelaide Crows 54.
The scoreboard flattered Adelaide. Jesus.
What's happened to you, mate?
You're drifting off
You're
a little
drifting
bit
off.
there,
You're
mate.
falling asleep.
Me?
Yeah.
You got a little bit far away from your microphone, I think.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I actually said the scoreboard flattered Adelaide if that score could possibly flatter anybody.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, fair enough.
'Cause
Yeah.
they were not good.
No.
But I don't know. GWS, it was really interesting because there's a few players, they sort of switched the positions around. Like Whitfield, who I have, kicked a couple of goals.
Yeah, Whitfield played like
Great.
70+% game time in the forward line.
He's playing bloody Wayne Carey's position. I don't know if he did. He's up the front. I don't know.
Yeah, he wasn't playing Wayne Carey's position.
Because it's Wayne Carey's position. Anyway, but yeah, no, he played all right, but there was a few things they swapped around. I think they're probably going to, I hope they keep it both for their team and also my Supercoach team because, Whitfield, what did he score? He scored, if I can find his name, I don't know.
Not up the top there.
95.
95.
Yeah, good on him. Bloody had a bit of a go. And also Bruce, 109. I think he'll pretty much score hundreds if he can keep himself healthy and bloody...
You got Cornelio signed?
Yeah, 108. He did well as well. He's very consistent. Now that was a very good suggestion. I think you guys suggested him to me, so thank you very much.
Now, the big one at the top there, Josh Kelly. I had him from round 1. He's only been averaging pick over 100 and it's been frustrating at times. But this is the game that he does pull out every now and then, and it came at a good time. So thank you, Josh. 41 disposals, 153 Supercoach points.
Yeah, not bad from him.
He's affordable for everyone that might want a premium that isn't too expensive as well.
Yes, and another one who's having a bit of a breakout year, Tom Green, might not be too late to bring him in. The other one, first gamer, Cooper Hamilton, scored 68 and statistically was good. Eye test was pretty good. He could be an option. He's another one to monitor in round 8. Finn Callahan, he had his price rise this week, but he seems to be ticking along at 60s and getting a fair bit of the ball, so he could be one that has a breakout game all of a sudden soon. Adelaide side, as I mentioned at the top of this pod, time to move on Rochelle if you still have him. Unfortunately, I do because all my other players got injured this week, so I had to trade them. So Rochelle, it's time to go. The other player from Adelaide that catches my eye in a positive way. Ben Keys has now scored 7 straight tons.
Oh, but what's his price? He'd be probably getting too expensive to move.
But he's one of those, if he's going to keep scoring tons, happy to pay the money. Let me have a quick look at Ben Keys. Delisted by Brisbane, wasn't he, Zach? Is that correct?
Yeah.
Delisted. He's found a spot in Adelaide's midfield as a prime ball winner. Let me have a quick look at what we can expect him to be come lockout lifting, because he went into the week at $591,000, which is a bloody bargain, if you ask me, for someone that has scored 7 straight tons. And he's actually going to go down in price. You wouldn't believe it. He's going to go down $2,000, so he's going to be under 590.
There you go.
Averaging 119.7 for the year.
Get him time.
Well, yeah,
I did mention him last week.
Yeah, no,
and he didn't want a bar of him.
No, it's because I didn't bloody know him. But
I reckon Mills was also floated as an option last week, who went on to score 200.
But didn't he bloody do well? And also bloody, good on him. Now, let's have a look. Gratz, so who did you have? Did you have anyone significant?
Yeah, Kelly, Canelio, Bruce now as a rush. No Adelaide players. There was one. Tim Taranto scored 97. He had a really poor week, I think, last week or the week before, so his price could actually be a little lower very soon. I'd say that wasn't his break-even score at 97, so might be someone to look for there. And the other thing that is not Supercoach related, did you guys see Brodie Smith's hanger? And he knocked himself out.
Yeah, we were just talking about that before we started. Woo! That's so unfortunate because there'll be I feel, I've never taken one, but I feel there'd be no better feeling than grabbing onto a hanger and then you wouldn't even bloody remember it.
Yeah, that was great mark, though.
Great mark, though. All right, well, we keep moving.
I just have a question for Zach. You mentioned Tim Taranto. He's going to come down to about 500 and about 500K. Is that tempting to you or still a bit,
I tried to actually not load my team with too many players from the same team. I've already got 3 Giants players.
Yeah.
Like having Kelly, 'cause a lot of people don't have Kelly. If I probably would be more tempted, but at some point, I mean, you'd think now that Green's back, that Taranto will just get more pure mid-minutes. So, like, I think it's still a decent selection. I don't know how many percentage of teams he's in, but I think you could do worse. But there are a lot of forward options this year, and we're going to talk about a couple in the next game and as it wears on through this round. But but you could do worse.
Cool. All right, moving on. Next game, what did we have? We had Melbourne Demons 91, Hawthorn 81.
Max fucking GAWN.
Yeah,
Max GAWN.
Yeah.
172. I think everyone, including Zach, as a Hawthorn fan, expected this based on who he was rucking against.
Well, no.
What?
And I can tell you why. One of the reasons Hawthorn wanted to recruit Max Lynch was for Lynch's performance against GAWN for Collingwood on Queen's birthday last year, when GAWN didn't actually post a massive score and Lynch had a career game, basically, that made basically Collingwood said, listen, man, like, we know you can play, but like, you're not going to play before Grundy. So that was why he wanted to move to another club. But you are right. Like, I should have done it. I had GAWN as my VC all week, and at the last minute changed it to Oliver, which was a mistake. And as I saw GAWN pushing forward and taking a mark, I thought, yeah, okay, I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Lynch battled, but no, you're 100%, in the end, 100% correct. But that was my thinking at the start, that Lynch has actually played well before against GAWN.
Yeah, well, I think GAWN started as minimum GAWN, and he's now going into maximum GAWN. He's doing really well, and they've commented about his goal kicking over the past couple of years, and he seems to be going forward a little bit more, and he's slotting a few.
He is, and I just wanted to quickly mention. You mentioned Max Lynch doing an incredible job on Max GAWN on Queen's birthday last year, which he did. He beat him in the hitouts, but Max GAWN actually top scored for Melbourne that day.
Oh, what did he score?
123.
Okay. Well,
So-
as you can see, though, like if I'm thinking that that's going to be Gawn's max output against Lynch, that's why I went Oliver. It was obviously wrong. I had 100% incorrect, but I had some basis for that decision.
Yeah, and a few people have said that, and I suppose we all know that some of these stats don't necessarily have, some can score 200, but they didn't really change the game. They just got good stats. So that's something that definitely does happen.
I think that what tempted me more with GAWN was the fact that Luke Jackson was out and he was going to be number one, like proper number one ruck again.
I'm sorry, Luke Jackson.
He needs to stay out. I'm sorry, Luke Jackson. You'll never get picked again.
But he's very good. He's very good, but I understand what you're saying from a stats point of view. Yeah, we much prefer this, it's possible that Luke Jackson had a very good start to the season, which is why Max was probably diluted a little bit. But
I think
stats,
Max has now found his role. He's scored well in the last few weeks, even with Luke Jackson playing. I think he just had to adapt, and he's definitely adapting. Like, how many games how many games of footy have you watched, Zach? You're the footy man, and the ruckman has had 29 touches and 2 goals.
He's the only one that I think Dean Cox changed it for a lot of people with how he got around the ground and got the footy, but he wasn't as much of a weapon up forward. But Max wasn't always a weapon up forward. He's brought that in later in his career, and now he knows when he's 60 out, he can actually nail him. He just goes back and hits it.
And he's kicking goals from. It's not like, when you watch Mason Cox, it's like he's very accurate when he's 14 meters out because he can't kick any further than that. But
he can't see further.
Specky twat.
Don't let Collingwood Twitter see that. They'll bloody roast you for that. They went after. Dunstall.
It was Mark Robinson.
But yeah, as well as that, this week I brought in Clayton Oliver, who scored 119, which was underwhelming, but still good. Like, you're not complaining about 100. Who else was in there?
All right, Petrarca, 131.
Oh, yeah, Petrarca after a stinker last week.
Yeah, mate. It's Bowie, 63. Did quite well. I think we all had Bowie.
I don't have Bowie.
Okay. Any of you guys got Sicily? Like, we should have Sicily.
Yeah, I regret not having Sicily. He's probably my one SuperCoach regret for the year that I was skeptical, and he has proved me wrong.
One of the other interesting ones. So we talk about heart versus head in SuperCoach a lot, and there's no reason why I shouldn't have fucking picked Dylan Moore in my team the other night, and I really considered it because he's in less than 1% of teams, and he was the same price as Luke Parker. And he came out and he played in the second half on a wing. He's had 33 touches, kicked a goal, got 147 SuperCoach points. There's that pod sign we're talking about. He's in less than 1% of teams. Yep. He's now averaging 102 for the year. The other thing, though, I had a day of going, God, imagine if I had him, everyone's going to have Luke Parker. Parker comes out and scores 150.
Oh, there you go.
No regrets anymore. It would have been 3 points worse off. But there's a forward pod for you, if anyone is interested in one, because his lowest score this year is 88 so far, Dylan Moore, and looks like he's going to spend more time up the ground. So.
No, it's very good. Keen to move on, because we've got a few games to go, and we've got a full round that we're talking about. So
just quickly, Jackson Callow debuted a lowly 25, which is probably not much to get the SuperCoach coaches excited. We'll have to see what he does next week if he gets picked again.
But that was old mate from Melbourne.
Nope. That's the guy from Hawthorn.
Yeah, Hawthorn.
That was the dude from Melbourne that debuted, but he's been on the list for a couple of years.
Yeah, Cade Chandler.
That was cool.
He scored 8.
Yeah, but still cool.
Yeah, because he was the Medi sub. He came on.
Yeah, fair enough. He kicked a goal, didn't he?
Nope.
Oh, touche. All right. Next game. Port Adelaide 43. St Kilda 42.
This is, I reckon we don't even talk footy because it wasn't footy. It was Hudson's no more footy in Queensland rule. They played night footy in Cairns, which that is the dumbest decision I've ever heard. But Yeah, quickly, I had Jack Steele, 122. Jack Sinclair had his first non-ton of the year. He scored 85. The conditions didn't suit Jack Sinclair's skills. So I'm not disappointed by that. And Zach Butters came back with an 89, but he was looking like he was going to score a ton, and then he disappeared in the fourth quarter.
Game?
Yeah.
Did you see, though, Butters was on 88. And then he kicked the behind that levelled the scores at one point.
Yeah.
Then he got a handball in the middle of the ground that the next kick after that hit up Robbie Gray, who kicked the winning point.
Yeah.
And for all of that, Butters got 1 point.
Yeah.
And then a St Kilda players on the losing side all got upscaled about 6 points. Butters was robbed.
Yeah, he was. Excuse me.
Putting it out there.
Yeah, he was a bit hard done by there. Other popular picks, Simon, do you have anyone else?
No, how did Steele go, though? I'm interested.
Yeah, so he scored 122. He was a game high 122 with 27 touches and 8 tackles. Again, the conditions suit his grunt football. Naziah Wanganeen-Miller finally pulled out a good score. He scored 85, which is the same. 85 is also the number of letters in his name. That's a long fucking name. And then popular trade-in Sam Hayes on the Port Adelaide side as number 1 ruck. Only scored 53, unfortunately. But he was rucking against Tap King Paddy Ryder.
Yeah, I've got him as well. I'll happily have him as my bloody sub or whatever, because he doesn't cost me much money. And like, if he can score that, that's not too bad. Anything else, Gratz?
Oh, there's one last thing I will point out. I reckon there's a chance that I'll end up with Ollie Wines in my team in the next few weeks.
Oh, the Brownlow medalist.
If you take out his injury-affected score, which is actually making him plummet to around about 520k, he's still averaging over 100, and that will be a midfield pod that no one else has. So it's a consideration. It may happen in the next couple of weeks. Wait and see.
Very good. All right, cool. Well, next game we've got Carlton Blues 114, North Melbourne 64.
Take him bowling, David.
He still hasn't. But I will jump in here. So I traded in Cripps this week, and that's I didn't. Yeah, I know. I'm not that happy about it. Only because I like him, but I feel he scores well, but geez, like 138, broken leg, like, you know.
He's fine though.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel he's a bit injury prone, so he's not super reliable in the. And
he plays through them.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'm happy for him.
He played all last year with a broken vertebrae.
Yeah, well, but yeah, he probably didn't know because he's bloody that big. But that's my only comments on Paddy Cripps. But he's going to be in for a little while because, you know, Gratz, you traded him out, you traded him back in, but you thought that injury might last a bit longer.
And before you go, Zach, did you ever think someone would be like, traded in Paddy Cripps, scores 138, but I'm a bit disappointed?
Yeah, someone that doesn't know anything about footy would say that. That's exactly who would say that. Yes, who else but Simon?
The other one, Sam Walsh is back. He's back in a big way. He's got another 100. He's, as we've all come to learn, he is a fantastic footballer and definitely the best out of that draft crop. Looking at you, Kane Corns, who didn't think Sam Walsh was a very good footballer and thought Connor Rozee was much better.
Kane said Carlton had to come out and admit that they got it wrong. That was actually his word.
Yeah, he's a fool. And he's a fool because I think Connor Rozee can have better games than Sam Walsh, but you know what you're getting from Sam Walsh.
You want that.
The other ones in this one, another first game assigned, Jack Carroll for Carlton scored 95.
Oh, good on him, Jackie.
19 touches, 8 marks and a goal for him. And he kicked the first goal of the game after about 4 minutes, and it wasn't bad. It was a really nice goal.
Yeah.
So well done to him. Doc keeps chugging along. We love Doc here.
Well, yeah, we do love Doc. And just on that, there was a really nice moment. I think it might have been before the game where Doc went over and had a chat to Cunnington.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so he was on the bench and looking much better than when we last saw him, mind you. And they both had a bit of a hug and a bit of a how you going. No doubt they're on the they've got their own WhatsApp group and they're just checking in on each other because, both of those fellas are in the same situation. I love that sort of stuff because it doesn't really matter who you play for at the end of the day. We're all human. Sorry, it's a bit abrupt, but yeah.
No,
Do you guys have Corey Durden?
nah.
No, he's 57, but he's nearly trying to move him on. That didn't reach his break even.
I had Tyler Durden.
What's Tyler Durden?
Gratz?
Yeah.
No, Fight Club. That's all right. No
Oh.
worries. Fight Club reference.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I've watched it once. And not
Yeah.
that long ago.
Well, yeah, no, you watch it once and never speak about it. That's fair enough. That's the rules. That's all good.
You learnt the rules very early.
Yes.
Good on you.
No, very good.
Jason Horn-Francis.
Yeah, he.
Yeah.
I got really mad at this game. I actually tweeted at North Melbourne because I was very mad. Did you watch any of this, Zach?
Yeah, I watched all the football this week.
Yeah, okay. Well, you had plenty of time. So I watched this game, and Jason Horn-Francis, you know when he was rumbling and bumbling around, he gave away that free kick, and I think it ended up being 50 or something. And it was about 8 minutes to go in the third quarter, I think it was. And I tweeted North Melbourne because I was like, how the fuck have you got your number one pick showing a bit of heart, which you can't say about any other player on this team? He was not seen again that whole quarter. They dragged him because of that, because he got a bit hot-headed, and he wasn't seen for 8 minutes. He got brought back out in the fourth. It's...
I don't know. I don't know what they're doing.
There's David Noble has to accept that Jason Horn-Francis is his best player. It doesn't matter who else you've got. He's a number one pick. Stop being like, he's got to work his way into the team like every other draft pick. No, he doesn't. He's your best player already.
Yeah.
Treat him as
Number one
such.
clearance player they have, I think.
Well, particularly when you're 17th. Like when you're 17th, maybe when you're up the ladder a bit and, you know, you've got some other, some veterans or something that are carrying the team. But if you're 17th, just get him out there. You don't have another choice.
He had so there were 5 players in this game that had a lower time on ground than Jason Horn-Francis, the number one pick on the second worst team in the league. And they were Callum Coleman-Jones, who probably doesn't have the tank. It's his first game for the year. Liam Stocker, who came off injured. Matt Cottrell, who replaced him. Miller Bergman, who came off injured. And Atu Basinavalagi, who replaced him.
Yeah, right.
Medical subs and a first game Callum Coleman-Jones were the only players with a lower time on ground than Jason Horn-Francis. That is don't worry about taking bowling. Fire your head coach and sort the fucking shit out. Because that's horrible.
Need a bowling coach and a new footy coach.
They need a bowling coach. That's
they need to
right.
sort something out because, it's disgusting. And from last year, why is Jack Zeeble back in the forward line? Especially now that Aaron Hall's out. Get him back at halfback. He was good there.
I think Zeeble's thing at the moment is Ben Cunnington's his best mate, so Zeeble gets to make a wish, and it's we want to play every week. And he probably shouldn't.
Zeeble?
Yeah.
If he was playing at halfback, he'd be him and Horn-Francis their best players.
He wants to play Zeeble wants to play forward. And it's Jack, you can't. It's but it's my wish.
Let me play forward.
Yeah, fair enough.
Paul Curtis is the main one before we move on.
Oh, yeah.
He's on the bubble this week. He's, I think, had a 61 and a 58, and I think they'll just play him now.
And he moves well. He plays well. He looks all right. He looks
Forward
like an
only.
intelligent footballer.
Forward only, not forward mid, but, it's fine.
Yeah, that's not too bad. It didn't stop me from bringing in Rosas and then him being laid out that week. So, welcome to my SuperCoach team. Aiden Bonner, just quickly wanted to mention, he scored 41, which he's played 4 games this year. It's his second positive score, which is good for him. He has scored a -1 and a -4 this year.
Oh,
Big
goodness.
Bonner over that one.
Yeah, he'll love that.
Reverse Bond.
And he's still got the traffic cone symbol on fan footy. Because he played on Harry Mackay, which the poor bloke. Or is it Ben Mackay? No one will ever know.
Oh, no, we don't have time to get into that.
Yeah, cool. All right, moving on to the next one.
Yes.
Collingwood Magpies, 115.
The goal comes.
90.
Yay.
Yay.
Duke Miller. He had Tuke Miller just before quarter time when he was on 7. You were spitting chips.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't pleased. I'll tell
Yeah.
you that for free.
Yeah.
I have Tuke Miller.
I have him as well. I don't think I've watched a couple. Like, I don't watch many games, but I've watched a couple of games, and that dude, man, I don't know what he's like. I reckon he's like Iron Man. He's like powered by something else other than sleep and good nutrition. I reckon. I'm not saying he's something like out of this world. I'm not suggesting anything as far as steroids or something. But bloody hell, that guy has got a motor. He's excellent. Good on him.
He deserves more than Gold Coast, is all I'm saying. And we said it all last year. Get this man out of Gold Coast.
Yeah.
And I thought after the first few rounds, I was like, oh no, Gold Coast are improving. And I say it again. Get this man out of Gold Coast and onto a team where he's appreciated.
Yeah. What does he want, though? Is he happy? Because, there's no pressure. He just plays
loves
good
it up
footy. Yeah, and away he goes.
But I think he loves it there. And he has that loyalty and that, like, they brought me in, they trusted me, so I'll trust them kind of mentality. But it's like at some point before you end your career, if you do want success, you've got to have a look at it and be like, hey, I love you, Gold Coast, but if I want to win premierships, it's not here.
Yeah. Depends what you want, though. Depends.
Yeah.
What you want,
no, 100%. But I think if any kind of, no, I'm not saying he's not credible, but I think any kind of credible professional athlete at the end of the day wants to win. That's what got them there. So it'd be disappointing for him every week. Well, not every week. He doesn't play for Essendon, but most weeks losing football games. But yeah.
So
congrats to those like Simon that held Matt Rowell.
Yes. Well, I mean, I didn't really have I didn't really have anywhere to go at that point in time. So, yeah, Tuke Miller, 160, Rowell, 99. Who else did I have? Dacos, 75, obviously from Collingwood, just in case you don't know as much about footy as I do.
Which Dacos?
Different team. I think Peter.
You've got Peter.
Yeah, I've got Peter.
Nice.
Yeah, he scored 75.
Nice, Pete.
And Crisp, 103, as we spoke about earlier. No, we didn't. We're talking about Short. But Crisp also did well. 103. Good on him.
Crisp, speaking of SuperCoach robberies, Jack Crisp got robbed.
Yeah, well, now that he's on my team.
I don't know if you saw his stats, Gratzy.
No, look, I didn't watch it, but I agree with you, Huddo, because he's on my team.
Zach, what do you have to say?
No, I heard people whinging, but I wasn't following along with Chris because I don't have him at the moment.
Yeah, so...
But, 103 up 28 touches and a goal, you take that.
Yeah, but his dream team, he had 130, which was only 10 less than Tuke Miller, and put him second on the ground for dream team. The one that annoyed me, you look down the line, 2 spots down if you're on fan footy at Pat Lipinski, who got 97. So he had 2 more touches for the game. Mind you, 5 less kicks, 7 more handballs, and we know kicks are worth more. 5 less marks, 5 less tackles, same contested possessions, 5 less clearances, same amount of clangers, 6 points less.
Yeah, maybe it was one of those making up lost ground things, because Frisbee started slow and Lipinski was on nearly 50 at quarter time.
Yeah,
so
but
maybe it was just
I
so
still
do the hard work early.
I think even though we run this SuperCoach podcast, I think I'm quitting SuperCoach next year and go on a dream team because
no, sacrilege.
I hate seeing these robberies.
I like it that they do the scoring live, because with SuperCoach I don't know until after.
Well, you got to get on the fan footy website, mate.
Nah, I don't know.
I to add to your list, Simon, I also had Malcolm Rosas, who scored 48.
Oh, sorry, yes. I also had him, but he was on the bench. Or was he?
Rosas.
Yes, he was.
Did you have anyone else, Zach?
No. I just want to talk about the next game.
Yeah, all right.
Just quickly, first gamer, Aiden Begg, ruck only, scored 81. For all those out there. And Darcy Cameron as number 1 ruck, 115. So keep an eye on that.
But it begs the question. Will we look at him in a couple of weeks if Hayes stuff? Maybe. A little downgrade, make some money if Begg looks like he's going to stay.
Oh, I completely agree with you. I just hated the joke, so I didn't want to say anything.
I didn't really hear what you were saying, to be honest.
I'm glad it landed in any capacity.
Speaking of, let's the joke didn't land. Just as the Next game's opponents didn't land. Western Bulldogs 103. Essendon Bombers didn't land 71.
Essendon supporters.
Fuck you, dogs!
There you go. So that was. I'm sure Huddo's got a bit to say, but I had McRae and I had him as my captain until GAWN scored a shitload.
Lucky boy.
Ended up on 89. So that was a good move. Dunkley 139. He's been very consistent. So good on him. There's actually a good YouTube video. Who was it? It was Treloar and Dunkley. They sort of review their first X amount of games because I think they came in the league at the same time. They showed this footage to start off with. Andrew Dunkley brought his kids out on the ground, and obviously Josh.
Yep.
Oh, Josh.
And Kyle.
But yeah, Josh was under the. I think Josh the older one, or was it the younger one?
Josh is older.
Yeah, so yeah, he was running out there. But yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. That's a cool video if you want to look at that one. And it's a significant video, so it goes for a little while and they just have a look at their first 100 games or something like that. Who else did we have? I had, I'll tell you who's bloody good. Nick Martin.
Yeah, fuck, he's good.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying him.
I went on a tirade about Jason Horne-Francis being North Melbourne's best player, but in all seriousness, Nick Martin is our best player.
Yeah, no, it's good.
I texted Donders, another, unfortunately for him as well, another Essendon fan. I texted him and I said, there are 4 people that I enjoy watching for Essendon, and that's I like Zach Merritt because I think he's, I don't know, there's just something about him. He uses the ball well normally and like he's coming back from an injury and whatnot. But Zach Merritt I like. Nick Martin now, he can hang around. Oh, he gets a pass. Zach Reid in his second game looked good. So for now, he gets a pass. And my man, I rave about him every time he plays, and he doesn't get enough recognition. But Matt Guelphy, I really like.
What about Peter Wright?
Nah, fuck Peter Wright. No. Peter Wright, I will defend Peter Wright because I think he's getting a hard time because he's the only bloke in our forward line that's a marking threat, so he gets double teamed every time. But when he is one-on-one, he usually wins. So I will defend Peter after I slam Peter. No.
That is your right, son.
When I watch Peter Wright, I'm like, mark a fucking football, you dog. And then I'm like, oh, nah, it's all right. He kicked 4. Like, he gives it a go. But, yeah, Harry Jones coming back will help him massively. And if Kane Baldwin can get a bit of consistency about him, it will as well. Yeah, I don't really want to talk about how good or bad Essendon are because as we know, not as we know, if we have a look at just quickly, I just want to read this out to you, Zach and Simon. You can tell me what you think.
It's a lovely poem that Hudson wrote.
Hudson. So Essendon's next 4 games before their bye is Hawthorn, Sydney, Richmond and Port Adelaide. Can you name a team that we'll beat? No. We're going to be 1-10 at the bye.
No, surely you're beating Port Adelaide.
No, we're not beating Port Adelaide. They just beat St Kilda, who are good. Port Adelaide, they've got confidence now.
Nah, they're no.
You're getting us at a good time because they've just come off playing 3 of the stronger teams in the competition over the last 3 weeks. We'll be tired, and that's Marble, I think.
Yeah,
so,
but
you might run up our legs,
the problem with Essendon is, our luck. So, excuse me, it always happens where we come up against teams where they either need to perform or they have been performing recently. Like Dogs this week, it's like, well, they better fucking turn it around. And they did. They beat us. And then like last week is Collingwood, it's like they're playing pretty well. And the week before Freo, it's like they're good now. We're going to, we play West Coast in June and I guarantee you they have no injuries. I bet everyone's back and it's just like full strength West Coast at Optus Stadium and we lose by 400 points because that's what we do.
Well, if Ridley, Parrish and Martin keep scoring tons every week, like they did for me today, I will...
Parrish is the new Tom Mitchell. He gets a lot of footy but really doesn't do a lot with it.
Jordan Ridley, though, just quickly, didn't get his first touch of the ball until there was about 3 minutes left in the first quarter. Was on 28 by quarter time. somehow, and then ended up top scoring. So
Yeah.
and he was playing a very, very tight role on Aaron Norton and did a really good job, kept him going.
I want to do a whole separate podcast on Essendon, and I want other people's opinions because I want to know how the fuck we've gone from being 8th, which we got lucky to get to being this, whatever this is. Like, there wasn't turnover on the list. There wasn't anything other than getting players in, and now we stink. So,
And Merritt and Stringer have come back
yeah,
into the lineup.
Now we stink more.
Yeah, so maybe they should just be moved on. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe we get rid of them.
Well,
but in terms of players, yeah, Nick Martin, Dunkley, McRae.
yeah, that's who you need. Well,
That's who you need.
We'll move on quickly to try and keep it under an hour, boys and girls. So we have Brisbane Lions, 113. Sydney Swans, 89.
So, Zach, you've already mentioned Luke Parker banging in a big 150, and
21 contested disposals. I'm just reading.
Hey?
From his 33. 21 contested disposals from his 33 touches.
Yeah.
Helped get that 150.
Good from him. The other one, good from Isaac Heaney, turned it on late. He got a couple of junk time touches and goals. One, Lance Franklin kicked 6. So good on him. All in the second half. Mind you. What'd you say, Zach?
This was the only game that I struggled to be able to watch because it was like getting dinner ready and everything. It was a crap time. And yeah, I actually didn't realise Buddy had kicked 6.
Yeah. Callum Mills, another 130, another ton, 139. If you're a Callum Mills owner, happy with 139, but much like Simmo with Patrick Cripps, you'll be disappointed with that 139 because he was on well over 80 at halftime. So, if he could actually stay on the park in terms of like his time on ground, he'll be number 1 picked next year. I think I had him picked as my breakout Rory Laird style mid, and the last 2 weeks, if they're anything to go by, he's well on his way to surpassing what Rory Laird did. The other players that we had in this game, you mentioned contested possessions for Luke Parker, 21. Lockie Neal had 26 contested possessions of his 37.
187.
And as you heard from Simmo's lovely Strinadika vocals there, 187 for Lockie Neal. 11 clearances. Just Lockie Neal's an incredible footballer. I don't know what happened last year, but maybe he can only do it like every 2 years, you know what I mean? Like wins a Brownlow, has a year off, and then he's like, hey, I'm back.
Yeah. There's a year to get over.
But I'll tell you someone who I'd happily drive to the airport if they asked me. Barry.
Yeah.
If he said I need a lift to the
I
airport.
can't believe you still have him.
Yeah, well, no one wants to drive anyone to the airport. It's a shocking favour. It's just like moving house. But I would help Barry move house or drive him to the airport if I knew he was getting out of my team.
Rich, so you put Rich on your bench, did you sign? You didn't take his score?
No, I didn't, and I didn't end up that worse off. So 89 versus DeConing, which was 77, so that's not too bad.
Yeah, well, I assumed that would happen with Rich and DeConing because that 77 from DeConing is surprisingly good.
Yep.
The other one, Dane Zorko, he got a big 120. Again, much like Zach, I didn't watch much of this game, but he kicked 2 goals, 3. So is he not playing halfback anymore?
From what I saw, it was just he kicked those 2 goals in the first half, and he looked at that point like he was sort of nearly even playing like a wing mid. But Brisbane had all the footy, like everyone was pushed up at that point. So
Yeah,
I
right.
couldn't sort of tell you exactly.
Early pre-season pick, Kaden Coleman, he's back. He's just played his second game. He scored 58. So he might be a little bit overpriced for those scores, but he looks like he could be a player for Brisbane. He's come in and they've played really well. Your man, Gratzy, Zach Bailey, had his traditional Zach Bailey fortnight where he scored 120 plus, and then he backed that up with a 46.
Yeah, seven goals last week. That's why keep an eye on him, but I think that we're just always going to keep an eye on him. I don't.
Yeah, he's one of those guys where it's like
every week.
he's one of those guys. I think with Zach Bailey is. I think we're all hoping, and it's not in terms of who he is as a player, but more for our SuperCoach teams. We're all hoping he scores 40 for about a month so that we can all get him in as like our last F6, and then he just every now and again scores 140.
Yeah.
Like the old, like the Josh Kennedy key forward where it's like he'll score 30. He's going to play every week, so he's a decent F7. But if you can get emergency on him and he scores 150, then you're laughing.
No, absolutely. Now, is there anyone else? Because I've got the perfect way to wrap this up.
There were no debutants or second game players, I don't believe. So no one from a bubble standpoint that I can see. No.
Oh, I did see that people traded him Laddams after his big score last week, and he scored 85.
85.
So, you could have done a little worse.
Yeah, I mean, for the price, probably a little bit much. I'm surprised people brought him in only because Bruce was sitting there. Now, this sounds horrible, but the Grundy injury for me came at a perfect time because I was too scared to move Grundy down to Bruce. I was forced to, and it worked out.
I'm sure it's coming at a perfect time for him too because, autumn's a lovely time of year. The leaves are turning. Probably come up, we're talking about...
Come up to Yak Creek Distillery.
Go up to Yak Creek Distillery, go to Bright. Bloody, it'll be the best time ever.
Now, can you guys... SuperCoach is open. So we've got our results for the week. Weekly ranks and rank change and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So you guys want to get that up? We can...
I'll get it up.
I'll have to have someone help me.
I went down. No, I didn't. Whoa.
Oh, another call, Gratz? Gratz is gone. Oh, must be an hour. Oh, no, don't know. Gratz has left us. That's hilarious. Anyway.
Can we hang up and try again?
Yeah, hang up and try again. Jeez, that's funny. Anyway, great podcasting. So is this it, Hud?
That's your home. Yeah, that's what you want.
Okay. Top 28%.
I'm calling Zach and he's not answering.
I reckon his phone died.
His phone died.
Yeah, that's hilarious. Well, I might have a... Do you want to go through what you had? What?
Yeah, no, you go through what you...
Oh, he's back.
He's back.
He's back in Gratz form.
Hey.
What happened?
You hung up on us.
No, apparently it said my internet dropped out, which is like, timing's interesting. Right at the end.
All right.
Right when I was about to get my weekly rank.
Yep, go for it quickly because we're running out of time here. Hudson's got to get to bed.
You guys do yours?
Nah, you smash out your what you are this week, your season rank, and then give us a quick what are you going to do with your trades?
Oh, round 7 rank 4,212.
Good.
Got up 10,790 spots to 14,193.
Yep.
And I've actually got Petey that we mentioned at the start. He came a tick over 1,000 for the week.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So a lot of big scores this week. For trades, thinking maybe I might hold now after a good week, but if I do anything, it will involve bringing in Curtis.
Yep.
And I'll have enough money with 141K already in the bank to upgrade Horn Francis.
Nice. Cool. Sime, how'd you go?
Round 7, 15,577. Round rank change, up 75,923.
No, we want your season rank change.
Oh, I don't know. Up 11,000.
Yep. So what are you overall?
45,963.
Not bad from you, considering you were in the 100,000s last year.
Not bad. Good choice.
Any trade plans?
No, I don't know. There's just a few I want to get rid of, and they're probably like I don't know if they're rookies like McDonald, there's Ward, there's McCartan, Stevens, all those sorts of guys.
Barry.
Yeah, Barry as well. But that's sort of who I'm looking at.
Yep. Not bad. So I ended up this round 7, 16,410. I did go up 1,003 places, so I'm now 5,813.
That's good.
Yeah, so this is good starting point for me because I can make a couple of trades here. I think I'm going to use another boost, and I'm going to move Rochelle on, possibly Horn Francis, and probably Huge Dixon. And I think I'll go early on Greg Clark, possibly early on Jack Carroll, because I like the way he played. And then an upgrade target. I'm not sure yet. We mentioned Sicily. I like him. And Ben Keys is, we mentioned, kind of 590Ks, good value, another 100. Him and Lockie Neal are the only two to score hundreds every game this year. So we'll see how it all plays out coming into round 8, where hopefully we do another podcast.
Yes, hopefully.
Yeah.
Gratz, what do you got?
No more COVID. Everyone stay fit and healthy during the week. Do your best. Carroll. Good luck with the Supercoach team.
You're fading. You're fading on us.
I've got one more question that we can answer next week.
Yes,
So-
the old Simon question, cliffhanger.
So Supercoach curveball, should they include a coach in the selections?
We can answer that next week.
We can. I thought someone might have had an instant reaction, but that's
Oh, well,
okay.
no, my instant reaction
No,
is no.
next week.
Absolutely not.
Ah, come on. All right. No, well, I'll come up with something next week. All right. Well, that's it. Border Barrels signing off and stay healthy. Stay healthy. You can stay healthy so you can stay healthy. And
Healthy.
kick a barrel, drink a nice beer, catch you later.
How would they police the coaches as Supercoach points?
No, I don't know. There's a number of things. I'll tell you next week.